Father, for what you are doing. Thank you for all that you are doing, in every place that you are doing it. Thank you for a spirit that comes.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy Exalted
And this is a season of preparation for the king, for the king's coronation. And we're only a few days away from the king's coronation. And in these days, it is likened to the time when, prior to a coronation, the coming king, the crown prince, would go out among the people. And it is likened to a time where it says the king is in the field, so that you can come and talk to him as friend to friend, to get to know him as a person, as an individual, as who he is before he's crowned with that final robe and that final crown. Because when the final crown comes on his head and you meet him at the throne, he sits in judgment. But right now, he says, come to me, be my friend. And when we are the friend of the king, rather than sitting on our faces before the judgment throne, we get to stand beside him as his friends. And it's a season where the trumpets sound to remind the people, come now to the king. Come now to the king. Do not give up hope. He will be crowned. Don't give up the hope. He will be crowned. But right now, come to him. Converse with him. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who sanctifies us with your commandments and has commanded us to hear the sound of the shofar.
Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malkuto Le'olam Vayed.
Blessed be the name of the glory of his kingdom, forever and ever.
Ve'hafta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol lavavecha uvkol nafshecha uvkol moldecha. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. V'hayu hadvarim hayala asher anochi mitzvacha hayom ala vavecha.
And these words which I command you today shall be upon your heart.
Vishinamtam lavanecha v'debarta bam bevshetka bevtecha uvlechtka v'lerech uvshakbeka uvkamecha. You shall teach them thoroughly to your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk on the road, when you lie down, and when you rise. Ukshartom leolot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bin inecha. You shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for a reminder between your eyes. Uktavtam al mozazot bitecha uvisharecha. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gate.
Much better. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'toratcha, v'natan lanu et hor ha'chaim, beYeshua mishakenu, sar hashalom. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with your Torah, and has given us the light of life in Jesus our Messiah, the Prince of Peace. And Father, you've added this prayer, and I'm going to continue I'm going to pray it. Master of the universe, we, the children of Israel, the children of Abraham by faith, ask you for Mashiach, Messiah, to redeem us, now and with mercy, from exile, from all suffering, and to reveal your name in the world, and to bring peace. Let's do light the candles. Light the candles.
Light the candles, burn them bright, let them shine into the night. Light the candles, make it known, we are his very own. And he has come to light the way, to turn our darkness into day. And we will shine for all to see, Messiah come for you and me. Like Messiah come for you and me. That's what I'm looking for. Jesus Messiah. This is open dance, right? He became sin, who knew no sin, that we might become his righteousness. He humbled himself, he carried the cross. Love so amazing, love so amazing, Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah. soul now to stand. You stood before my failure. You carried the cross for my shame. My sin weighed upon your shoulders. My soul now to stand. What can I say? What can I do? But offer this heart of God completely to you. What can I say? What can I do? But offer this heart of God completely to you. So I'll walk upon salvation, your spirit alive in me, this life to declare your promise, my soul now to stand. What can I say? What can I do? But offer this heart of God completely to you. What can I say? What can I do? But offer this heart of God completely to you. So I'll stand with arms high, heart abandoned, in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. So I'll stand with arms high, heart abandoned, in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. You stood before creation, and eternity was in your hand. You spoke the earth into motion, my soul now to stand. You stood before my failure. You carried the cross for my shame. My sin weighed upon your shoulders. My soul now to stand. So I'll walk upon salvation. So I'll walk upon salvation. Your spirit alive in me. This life to declare your promise. My soul now to stand. What can I say? What can I do? But offer this heart of God completely to you.
Song just before we did that one is called The Stand. And when I shifted to that song, I started laughing. And one of the reasons is because our reading out of Torah today, our reading out of Torah today, which is in Deuteronomy 29, verse 9. Actually, it's verse 10 in this. It says, all of you are standing today in the presence of the Lord your God. And in the Hebrew, the name of it means to stand. It means you stand, and it's a direct command. You stand. Stand in the presence of God. And that's, and I think it's very appropriate that we would go ahead and do our reading right now. It's Deuteronomy chapter 29, starting in verse 10 in most of our Bibles. And it'll be going through to 31, verse 30.
Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 10. You stand today, all of you, before the Lord your God, your chiefs, your tribes, your elders, and your officers, even all the men of Israel. Your little ones, your wives, and the alien who is within your camps, from the one who chops your wood to the one who draws your water, that you may enter into the covenant with the Lord your God, and into his oath which the Lord your God is making with you today, in order that he may establish you today as his people, and that he may be your God, just as he spoke to you, and as he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now not with you alone am I making this covenant and this oath, but both with those who stand here with us today in the presence of the Lord our God, and with those who are not with us here today. For you know how we lived in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the midst of the nations through which you passed. Moreover, you have seen their abominations and their idols of wood, stone, silver, and gold, which they had with them. Lest there shall be among you a man or a woman or family or tribe whose heart turns away today from the Lord our God to go and serve the gods of those nations. Lest there shall be among you a root bearing poisonous fruit and wormwood. And it shall be, when he hears the words of this curse, that he will boast, saying, I have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, in order to destroy the watered land with the dry. The Lord shall never be willing to forgive him, but rather the anger of the Lord and his jealousy will burn against that man, and every curse which is written in this book will rest on him, and the Lord will blot out his name from under heaven. Then the Lord will single him out for adversity from all the tribes of Israel, according to the curses of the covenant which are written in this book of the law. Now the generation to come, your sons who rise up after you, and the foreigner who comes up from a distant land, when they see the plagues of the land and the diseases with which the Lord has afflicted it, will say, all the land is brimstone and salt, a burning waste, unsown and unproductive, and no grass grows in it, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. And all the nations shall say, why has the Lord done thus to this land? Why this great outburst of anger? Then men shall say, because they fortook the covenant of the Lord, the God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. And they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they have not known and whom he had not allotted to them. Therefore the anger of the Lord burned against that land to bring upon it every curse which is written in this book. And the Lord uprooted them from their land in anger and in fury and in great wrath, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. The secret things belong to the Lord our God, but the things revealed belong to us and to our sons forever, that we may observe all the words of the law. So it shall be, when all of these things have come to pass, or have come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you call them to mind in all nations where the Lord your God has banished you, and you return to the Lord your God and obey him with all your heart and soul, according to all that I command you today, you and your sons, then the Lord your God will restore you from captivity, and will have compassion on you, and will gather you again from all the peoples where the Lord your God has scattered you. If your outcasts are at the ends of the earth, from there the Lord your God will gather you, and from there he will bring you back. And the Lord your God will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. And he will prosper you and multiply you more than your fathers. Moreover, the Lord your God will circumcise your heart and the heart of your descendants, to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, in order that you may live. And the Lord your God will inflict all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecute you. And you shall again obey the Lord and observe all his commandments which I command you today. Then the Lord your God will prosper you abundantly in all the work of your hand, in the offspring of your body, and in the offspring of your cattle, and in the produce of your ground. For the Lord will again rejoice over you for good, just as he rejoiced over your fathers. If you obey the Lord your God to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law, if you turn to the Lord your God with all your heart and soul, for this commandment which I command you today is not too difficult for you, nor is it out of reach. It is not in heaven that you should say, who will go up to heaven and get it for us to make us hear it, that we may observe it? Nor is it beyond the sea that you should say, who will cross the sea for us to get it for us, and make us hear it, that we may observe it? But the word is very near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may observe it. See, I have set before you today life and prosperity and death and adversity, that in that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that you may live and multiply, and that the Lord your God may bless you in the land where you are entering to possess it. But if your heart turns away and you will not obey, but are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I declare to you today that you shall surely perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land where you are crossing the Jordan to enter and possess it. I call heaven and earth to witness against you today, that I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. So choose life in order that you may live, and you and your descendants, by loving the Lord your God, by obeying his voice, and by holding fast to him. For this is your life and the length of your days, that you may live in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them. So Moses went and spoke these words to all Israel. And he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to come and go. And the Lord has said to me, you shall not cross this Jordan. It is the Lord your God who will cross ahead of you. He will destroy these nations before you, and you shall dispossess them. Joshua is the one who will cross ahead of you, just as the Lord has spoken. And the Lord will do to them just as he did to Sihon and Og, the kings of the Amorites, and to their land, when he destroyed them. And the Lord will deliver them up before you, and you shall do to them according to all the commandments which I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or tremble at them, for the Lord your God is the one who goes with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Then Moses called to Joshua and said to him in the sight of all Israel, be strong and courageous, for you shall go with this people into the land which the Lord has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you shall give it to them as an inheritance. And the Lord is the one who goes ahead of you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. So Moses wrote this law and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. Then Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, at the time of the year of remission of debts, at the feast of booths, when all Israel comes to appear before the Lord your God at the place he will choose, you shall read this law in front of all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the children and the alien who is in your town, in order that they may hear and learn and fear the Lord your God, and be careful to observe all the words of this law. And their children who have not known will hear and learn to fear the Lord your God as long as you live on the land which you are about to cross the Jordan to possess. Then the Lord said to Moses, behold, the time for you to die is near. Call Joshua and present yourselves at the tent of meeting, that I may commission him. So Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves at the tent of meeting. And the Lord appeared in the tent in a pillar of cloud, and the pillar of cloud stood at the doorway of the tent. And the Lord said to Moses, behold, you are about to lie down with your fathers, and this people will arise and play the harlot with the strange gods of the land into the midst of which they are going, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger will be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them and hide my face from them, and they shall be consumed, and many evils and troubles shall come upon them, so that they will say in that day, is it not because our God is not among us that these evils have come upon us? But I will surely hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they will do, for they will turn to other gods. Now therefore write this song for yourselves, and teach it to the sons of Israel. Put it on their lips, in order that this song may be a witness for me against the sons of Israel. For when I bring them into the land flowing with milk and honey, which I swore to their fathers, and they have eaten and are satisfied and become prosperous, then they will turn to other gods and serve them, and spurn me and break my covenant. Then it shall come about, when many evils and troubles have come upon them, that this song will testify before them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten from the lips of their descendants. For I know their intent, which they are developing today, before I have brought them into the land which I swore. So Moses wrote this song the same day and taught it to the sons of Israel. Then he commissioned Joshua, the son of Nun, and said, Be strong and courageous, for you shall bring the sons of Israel into the land which I swore to them, and I will be with you. And it came about, when Moses finished writing the words of this law in a book until they were complete, that Moses commanded the Levites who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law and place it beside the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may remain there as a witness against you. For I knew your rebellion and your stubbornness. Behold, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against the Lord. How much more then after my death? Assemble to me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their hearing, and call the heavens and the earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you will act corruptly, and turn from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days. For you will do that which is evil in the sight of the Lord, provoking him to anger with the work of your hands. Then Moses spoke in the hearing of all the assembly of Israel words of this song until they were complete.
Changes not mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Majesty. Here I am, humbled by your majesty, covered by your grace so free. Here I am, knowing I'm a sinful man, covered by the blood of the Lamb, and now I've found the greatest love of all is mine, since you laid down your life, the greatest sacrifice. Majesty, majesty, your grace has found me just as I am, empty-handed but alive in your hands. Majesty, majesty, forever I am changed by your love, in the presence of your majesty. Here I am, humbled by the love you give, forgiven so that I can forgive. Here I stand, knowing that I'm your desire. I'm sanctified by glory and fire, and now I've found the greatest love of all is mine, since you laid down your life, the greatest sacrifice. Majesty, majesty,
Oh, Father, thank you.
Thank you for intentions. Thank you. Oh. Yeah. I said I've kind of been vibrating a while today, and you know, when we hear, sometimes when we read things that Moses wrote, and we read the blessings and the curses, we read the law. We read it from a perspective that our society's taught us, okay? A perspective that we've learned in seminaries and Bible colleges and in churches. And a lot of our perspective from it comes out of the writings of the Apostle Paul. And I'm going to read a little bit of what Paul wrote, okay? And then I'm going to explain to you a different viewpoint about what God is doing when he sets it up and when he says, do this and do this and do this, or this will happen. Do this, do this, do this. Don't do this, don't do this. I'm going to show you a slightly different viewpoint on it, okay? And you don't have to agree with me. But I want you to think about it carefully. And ask the Lord to reveal to you what is right, what is from him. And I'm in Romans chapter 9, starting in verse 30. And Paul wrote this. What then shall we say? That Gentiles who did not pursue righteousness have obtained it, a righteousness that is by faith. But Israel, who pursued a law of righteousness, has not attained it. Why not? Pretty good question, isn't it? Why not? Because they pursued it not by faith, but as if it were by works. Did you hear that? It's not that the law is bad and the law brings death. It's that when we pursue it by works instead of by faith, we're going to be dead. It's as simple as that. We're dead in the water. Because if we want to go back to what he said in Deuteronomy 30, verse 16, it says, for I have commanded you today to what? First, love the Lord your God. That's faith. That comes first. Love the Lord your God, then walk in his ways and keep his commandments, decrees, and laws. Then you will live and increase, and the Lord God will bless you in the land you are entering to possess. But if your heart turns away, it starts with the heart. It's the love. It's the faith that is key to all of it. The law was never about earning righteousness. It never was. It never will be. It can't do it for us. We cannot earn righteousness. They never could. Moses never told them they could. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. First. Because it comes from that, then we then choose. Because when we love, our hearts are changed. When we have faith, our hearts are changed. We keep, I've been told, and I've heard, and I read, and I studied, and New Testament doctrine says circumcision of the heart is in the New Covenant. Guess what? He talks about it in the Old. It ain't new, guys. God does not change. He never has changed. He never will change. It's always been about the heart. It's always been about the heart. They pursued it not by faith, but as it were by works. They stumbled over the stumbling stone. As it is written, see, I lay in Zion a stone that causes men to stumble, a rock that makes them fall. And the one who puts his trust in him will never be put to shame. Why? Because he does the work for us. We're just supposed to rest. We're supposed to trust in the coming Messiah, is what they were taught then. It isn't about this. The sacrifices were not what saved. They were pictures of the Messiah that was to come. The hope isn't in the lamb that you sacrificed. The hope is in the lamb that was allowed to be sacrificed for us. That was a picture of this. Before the cross, they looked towards the cross in faith for salvation. It says of Abraham, and Abraham believed God, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. Does it say that Abraham obeyed God first, or does it say he believed God? He believed God. That became his righteousness. Paul continues writing, brothers, my heart's desire and prayer to God for the Israelites is they may be saved. For I can testify about them that they are zealous for God. But their zeal is not based on knowledge, because they do not know the righteousness that comes from God, and sought to establish it on their own. They did not submit to God's righteousness. Christ. Now, anytime you see Christ in the New Testament, it goes back to a Greek word, Christos, which means anointed one, which is exactly what the word Messiah means. So if you want in your reading, you don't want to read it Greek-wise, just say Messiah anytime you see Christ, and you're okay. It means the same thing. It's not talking about a different God. The definition is Messiah, anointed one. And he says here, Messiah, the anointed one, is the end of the law, so that there may be righteousness for everyone who believes. Now, I have heard it preached. I have read it in commentaries. This says Messiah is the end of the law. Messiah is the finishing of the law. Okay, this word end could easily be translated goal, completeness, goal or completion. For Messiah is the completion of the law. Just because something is complete, that doesn't mean it goes away, does it? Just because you make a goal doesn't mean the game is over. It's not over till it's over. And Yeshua said that God's word will not pass away, that there will not be one jot or tittle of the law pass away until the end of times. Are we at the end of times yet? Obviously not. Jesus isn't on the throne. He's not ruling from Jerusalem yet. Can't be at the end of times, so the law must still have a part. It ain't done. Messiah is the goal of the law, so there may be righteousness for everyone who believes. Everything about the law is showing us Messiah. It's showing us Messiah. It's not showing us what we have to be. It's showing us what he will be, and it's showing us what God loves. And then he quotes from the reading we wrote today. The reading we read today. Moses describes it this way. The righteousness that is of the law. The man who does these things will live by them. The righteousness that is of faith says, do not say in your heart who will ascend into heaven. That is to bring the anointed one here. Or who will descend into the deep. That is to bring the anointed one up from the dead. But what does it say? The word is near you. It is in your mouth and in your heart. And that is the word of faith we are proclaiming. What does the law proclaim? Love the Lord your God. Messiah is coming. What do we proclaim now? Love the Lord your God. Messiah is coming back. The message hasn't changed that much. If you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord. Now, Yeshua is Adonai. Jesus is Lord. Now that's a small L-O-R-D. But, if you put it back into the Hebrew, still says he is the king. Yeshua. Jesus is the Greek word that Yeshua became when it came through the languages. I don't get hung up on it because it ain't worth it, guys. It ain't worth it. Does he know who we're talking about? Yes. Does the enemy know who we're talking about? Yes. So what does it matter to get all caught up on which name we use? Jesus means salvation. If you were to read this in the Hebrew, it might say, if you speak with your mouth, salvation is Lord. My Lord is my salvation. Does that sound like something out of the Old Testament? The Lord is my light and my salvation. David wrote it several times. He is our salvation. He is our salvation. When Moses said to the people, chapter 30, verse 11, now what I'm commanding you today is not too difficult for you or beyond your reach. It's not in heaven that you have to ask, who will ascend into heaven to get it and proclaim it to us so we can obey it? Nor is it beyond the sea, so you have to ask, who will cross the sea to get it and proclaim it to us that we may obey it? No, the word is near you. It is in your mouth and in your heart so that you may obey it. When we speak with our mouths, he is Lord. And it is in our hearts that he is Lord. It's easy to obey him. It's easy to obey him. It's not about, if you do this, you're going to hurt and you're going to go to hell. That's not what the law was about. We have grandchildren that live with us right now, and we've raised some children, and I know what it's like to say, you can play in the front yard, here's the fence, stay there. And have a child want to play out in the street. And what do? We go out to the street and we say, you can't play in the street. Why? Because it's not safe. Right? It's not safe for you to play in the street because there's a boundary in the yard that keeps the cars from coming in and hitting you most of the time. It's supposed to anyway. You know? But if you go out and play in the street, and that car comes around that corner too fast and doesn't have time to stop, what's going to happen to the child? They're going to get hurt, right? A couple of years ago, I was running late for a doctor's appointment. I jumped in my car. I took off. I'm going down the street. I see some kids in front of me cross the street. I see another kid over here on a bike, and I'm thinking he's going to cross the street. No. And I started slowing down, and he pulled right in front of me. Boom. I didn't have time to slow down. Well, I did, because otherwise he would have been killed or hurt. And he really wasn't. But I will never forget the look on that boy's face when his bicycle hit the front of my car and he rolled up onto the hood of my car and his face was just white. And the eyes, I'll never forget those eyes. And I stop, and he rolls off and onto the ground. And I jump out of my car and I'm checking him. You know, I have first aid training even then, and I'm doing all the first responder stuff, and I'm checking him, and everything's okay. And I'm call someone, and I'm doing all the right things, and the kid's not hurt, he's just upset. And the fire department come, and they put a neck brace, they do all this stuff and haul him off, and I'm sitting on the curb, and all of a sudden it hit me. And I sat there for a good hour crying. I didn't mean to hit him, but I did. Why? Because he didn't do the safety things that you're supposed to do. He didn't check. He didn't look. He didn't see me. When God put these laws down, it wasn't to be hard or to be mean or to restrict their freedom any more than when we tell our children to follow the laws when they're riding their bicycles, or we tell them you can play in the yard but don't run across this, you can go here and not here. We give them those boundaries to protect them because we love them. And we know when they step out of their boundaries, they're at risk. It's not safe. Does God not know us? Does God not know our enemy? Does he not know the rights the enemy has when we do certain things in our lives? It's not about a harsh, judgmental God. as much as it's about a Father who loves his people and wants them to walk in joy and glory and blessing. And he says, if you'll eat your vegetables, you can have dessert. If you will love me, if you'll do what I tell you to do, there will be blessing upon blessing upon blessing. If you'll understand what I'm telling you, there will be blessings. But if you don't love me, if you don't obey me, you open yourself up to curses that are going to happen. If you insist on playing in the street, you're going to end up hurt. Even if you just hit a rock and fall off the bike and skin your knee first time. That may be the start of it. I don't know. Do I understand all of what it is that we are to abide by? No, but I do know this. If I will love him and submit to him and read his word and study it, he'll show me. He'll make it clear. He'll let me know whether or not I'm fighting. He'll let me know. Because it says, my sheep hear my voice. I think sometimes we've told him to shut up so long that we don't hear him anymore. So we need to go back to hearing him and listening and saying, God, what's right? What do you want? What do you want? There was a time in my life when I was pretty mad at God. Things hadn't worked out the way I thought they were going to. I mean, I had a plan for my life. God did too, but I had a plan for my life. And I thought I understood God's plan, and I thought I could make it happen. Guys, we can't make his plan happen. Because when we try to make it happen, and we don't listen to him and let him make it happen, we're going to be disappointed. And I got mad. And I will never forget the night that I told him to shut up and leave me alone. And everybody in the bar thought I was insane, you know, I'm pretty sure. Because here's somebody sitting at a table in the bar, the band's singing, and all of a sudden I'm going, shut up and leave me alone. And they're like, okay. I didn't get asked to dance again that night. But then I felt the silence later. You know, when I allowed the noise of the world to die down, I felt the silence. You know, this is strange. What is this? God. I found myself trying to play and catching myself, trying to pray. Found myself trying to pray and then catching myself going, oh, wait a minute, you told him to shut up and leave you alone. He can't help. Where'd that thought come from? I caught myself trying to talk myself into unbelief, in a sense. And it took a while, and I hated the silence. And I behaved very badly for a season. And I got tired of the silence. I couldn't handle it. And I cried out to the Lord, and I cried out to the Lord, and I cried out to the Lord, and I cried out to the Lord. And, you know, some people, they'll tell you, cry out to God, he will answer you. I'm telling you, if you've told him to shut up, it may take a while before he answers you. You know why? He told me, do you mean it? I want you to know you mean it. I know whether or not you mean it, but you need to know that you really mean it. It took me a while. It took several months of faithfully reading the Word again. And I started in Psalms and the book of John. And it took me a few months before his response to me, do you mean it this time? Do you know you mean it? God, forgive me. Forgive me. I'd love to say that from that time on I've walked in full obedience. I haven't. You know, none of us do. None of us do. But remember, obedience is not what saves. Faith saves. With faith, He will bring us to obedience. And it's Him that does it. It's been a few years now since I took part in my first Tashlich ceremony. It was a strange day. Told a friend I would meet her in her weird little church group. They were going to be at Veterans Park by the water. They were going to have a service of some kind. I went, okay. Yeah, I'll come. Yeah, I'll come. I was mad at God again, and I was walking in disobedience. I'll come. So I got there a little late. And someone came over and they said, here's what we're doing. Take this bread, stale, crusty old bread. Okay, that's a handful of stale, crusty old bread. Go over to the water, and you say to God, what needs to go? And you break off a piece of bread and let it represent your sin, and you throw it in the water. Okay, that's a strange concept. Never done anything like this before, but hey, I'll play along. And that's exactly what I thought. I'll play along. And I go over to the water's edge, and I put my hand on the bread, and this thought immediately came to mind of something I had done that week that was definitely sinful, and I went, okay, maybe that should go, because that's got some pretty awful consequences if I continue that. Put my hand on the bread, and another thought came, and another thought, and another thought. And as He brought the sins to my mind, what He also brought me was, that's got consequences. That's got consequences. Do you want these consequences? Or do you want me to take the sin away so you don't live with those consequences anymore? And I started throwing bread in the water, and I was out of bread, and it's like I need more bread, you know? It was really kind of strange. And I followed Him back to the church where they were doing cleansing baptisms. I'd never heard of a cleansing baptism before. Isn't baptism about salvation? Well, there's multiple types of baptisms, okay? I didn't know that. I was a Baptist. There's one Lord, one faith, one baptism. And I understood a certain application of that verse. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the cleansing order. We're going to ask God to take all that stuff we threw away and just now get rid of the residue. Wash it off. And I sat there, and God said, you need to do this. And I'm like, I don't have any clothes to change back into. Yeah, you do. They're in the car. Friday at work. I knew I was going somewhere after work, so I brought in a change of clothes. So my work clothes are in a plastic bag in the back of the car. They're fairly clean because, I don't sweat a lot at my desk job. There went my excuse. And I went through it. And there has been no turning back. Because God said, if you will give me your heart and you will surrender these things to me, I will be the one to help you walk in obedience. It's not about your sticking it out, toughing it out, and grunting to bear my fruit. It's about you putting your roots down deep. Go into my love. Give me your heart first. That's what it's always been about. Always. Why did they become disobedient? Because their hearts turned away. And when our hearts turn away and we walk in disobedience, there are natural consequences. And just like with the child that you want to discipline, the consequences of the same bad behavior, you increase them until it finally extinguishes the behavior, right? You start with consequences that don't hurt the child so much physically. And you add and you add. Some children just don't learn until it gets severe. Israel as a nation got it backwards. They thought they could earn God's love by their obedience, rather than recognizing we love Him because He loved us, and they needed to just love Him back and let Him bring obedience to them. They thought they could earn it. By the time of Yeshua, that's exactly what they were doing, trying to earn it. And Yeshua came. And some of those who knew the word the best missed him. Why? Because it wasn't a heart issue to them. It was an external issue. When I study the Word, I want it to be this. Verse 8 says, the Word is near you. This is Romans 10:8. The Word is near you. It's in your mouth and in your heart. The word of faith you proclaim. Confess with your mouth, salvation is Lord. The Lord is my salvation. Yeshua is my salvation. And believe in your heart, God raised him from the dead. You will be saved. For it's with your heart that you believe and are justified. Do we get justified by our works? No. By our faith, by our hearts. And it's with your mouth that you confess and are saved. And as Scripture says, anyone who puts their trust in him will not be put to shame. Father, that we will put our trust in you and in the salvation that you made into human form. The salvation that came into human form. That we will cease striving to be justified by our works. Recognize that you justify us. You make us clean. It's by our faith. Father, that we would surrender our hearts to you. When you tell us to do something, we'll obey you not because we're afraid of you, not because we want to earn something from you, but because we love you. Because we love you. Father, that we would love you. Let our obedience come from love. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. May it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. Father, bless us as we go out, that we would be a blessing to others around us. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you, and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up